Hello, and welcome to English Podcast for Life, the show where we help you speak better English for real-life situations. I'm Emma.
And I'm David. And today, Emma, I am ready to fly. I've got my boarding pass, my carry-on, and possibly some leftover snacks from my last trip.
Knowing you, that trip was probably 6 months ago. But today, we're not actually getting on a plane. We're helping our listeners get ready to speak confidently at the airport.
That's right. Airports can be stressful. You've got security lines, announcements you can't always understand, and sometimes a check-in agent who seems to have mastered the art of speaking at lightning speed.
And when English isn't your first language, it can feel twice as stressful. You worry about saying the wrong thing or not understanding an important instruction.
That's why this episode is your airport survival guide. By the time we're done, you'll know how to check in, go through security, board your flight, answer immigration questions, and even handle luggage problems, all in confident, natural English.
And of course, we'll share a few funny stories along the way.
Which may or may not involve me almost boarding a plane to the wrong city.
I'm definitely making you tell that story later. But first, let's start where your airport journey usually begins, the check-in counter. Picture this. You've just arrived at the airport. You found your airline's counter. You're probably pulling your suitcase behind you. And there's a hopefully smiling, airline agent waiting to help you.
Here's the most common first question you'll hear. May I see your passport, please?
Easy to answer. You can say, of course, here you go. Or, sure, here's my passport.
And they might also say, where are you flying today?
Even if they already know, it's just part of the check-in process. So you can answer simply, I'm flying to London, or to New York via Chicago.
Oh, and here's a tip. If you have a connecting flight, learn how to say it clearly. I once mumbled through Madrid, and the agent thought I said, to Madrid, almost sent my bags to the wrong country.
That's impressive.
It's a talent.
Another question you'll often hear is, do you have any bags to check? This means, are you putting luggage in the plane's cargo area, not carrying it with you?
If yes, say, yes, I have one bag to check. Or, yes, just this suitcase. If no, no, just carry on.
Carry-on means your small bag that you take onto the plane with you.
And here's a phrase that's useful if you want a certain seat. Is it possible to have a window seat, please?
Or, could I have an aisle seat if available? Polite, clear, and you might just get your preferred seat. So David, since you've been hinting at it, tell us about the time you almost boarded the wrong flight.
Yes. Athens International Airport, 2018. I was tired, my headphones were in, and I heard Gate A12. Except my flight was from Gate A21. I followed a big group, scanned my boarding pass, and the machine beeped like I'd just committed a crime. The agent looked at me and said, "Sir, this flight is to Warsaw."
And you were going to Lisbon?
Correct. Moral of the story, always listen carefully and double-check your gate number.
Okay, you've checked in your luggage and have your boarding pass in hand. Now it's time for security screening, the part that makes everyone a little nervous.
Yes. The magical moment where you put all your liquids in a clear plastic bag, take off your belt, and try not to set off the metal detector.
Exactly. So, what kind of English will you hear here?
Usually, the security officer will say something like, "Please place your bags on the conveyor belt," or "Take off your jacket and place it in the tray."
And you can respond simply, "Sure," or "Here you go."
If they ask a question, it's often short and clear. For example, do you have any liquids, gels, or aerosols?
That means things like shampoo, perfume, or toothpaste. So if you do, say, yes, I have a small bottle of shampoo. Or if not, no, I don't have any.
Another question might be, do you have any electronic devices in your bag?
This is a good chance to show you know what to do. You can say, yes, my laptop and phone. Or just say, yes, and then prepare to take them out when asked.
Oh, and sometimes they'll ask, have you packed your bags yourself? to make sure no one else put anything inside.
A confident and polite answer is, yes, I packed them myself.
Now, here's a tip from my own experience. Once, I was so focused on my laptop that I forgot to take off my belt. The metal detector beeped like crazy. The officer just smiled and said, "Sir, belt off, please."
That's polite and clear. When you don't understand, it's okay to say, sorry, could you please repeat that?
Or, "Excuse me, I didn't understand." It shows you want to communicate clearly, and officers appreciate that.
Security done. Now you're at your gate, waiting to board. This is where you listen carefully to announcements and prepare to get on the plane.
The gate is the place where you actually get on the plane. It might be called Gate A12, Gate 21, or something similar.
Listen for announcements like, Flight 245 to Paris is now boarding at Gate 16. Or, passengers in Group 1 may now board.
Airlines often divide passengers into groups for boarding, usually based on seat location or ticket type. So if you hear your group called, it's your turn to get on.
When it's your turn, you'll show your boarding pass and passport to the agent. They might say, "May I see your boarding pass, please?" You can respond, "Here you go."
Sometimes you might want to ask, is this the right gate for Flight 367 to Rome? Or, if you're hoping to change seats, is there a window seat available?
Quick question, David. What's the best way to listen to announcements when you're nervous?
Good question. I always focus on keywords like flight number, destination, gate number, and boarding group. Even if you don't understand every word, catching those keywords helps a lot.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask someone nearby. "Excuse me, is this the boarding line for Flight 367? Most people are happy to help.
Now, for many travelers, the most nerve-wracking part is immigration, when you meet the border officer who asks you questions before entering a country.
These questions are usually short and very direct. The officer wants to know why you're visiting, how long you'll stay, and where you'll stay.
Here are some common questions and good answers. What is the purpose of your visit? I'm here for tourism. I'm here for business. How long will you stay? 2 weeks, 5 days. Where will you stay? At the Hilton Hotel, with friends in downtown.
It's important to keep your answers short, polite, and confident.
And if the officer asks, do you have anything to declare? That means, do you have any items or goods that must be reported, like expensive electronics, large amounts of money, or food?
A simple answer is, no, I have nothing to declare. Or if you do, yes, I have gifts for my family. David, you once told me you had an unusual question at immigration. What was that?
Oh yes, the officer asked me, do you plan to work while you're here? I just laughed and said no, I'm just here to enjoy the city.
Smart answer. It's always best to be honest. Last stop, baggage claim. This is where you collect your luggage after the flight.
You'll see large conveyor belts with bags going around. Listen for announcements about which belt carries your flight's luggage.
Sometimes your luggage doesn't arrive. If that happens, you need to speak with the airline's lost luggage desk. Here are some useful phrases. My luggage did not arrive. Can you help me find it? I checked one suitcase, but it is missing. What should I do next?
Keep your baggage claim ticket handy. It's the small paper they give you when you check your bags.
And that's it. You've made it through the airport confidently, speaking English clearly and politely.
Emma, can we talk about how to sound confident, even if you don't feel it?
Definitely. First, slow down your speech. Speaking too fast can make you harder to understand and increase your own nervousness.
Also, don't be afraid to ask for repetition. Could you please say that again?
And use polite phrases often, like please, thank you, and excuse me.
Remember, airport staff are used to speaking with people from all over the world. They appreciate any effort you make to communicate.
Here's a fun fact. Did you know the word gate comes from Old English meaning a way or entrance? So when you hear Gate 12, it's just the doorway to your plane.
And boarding pass is the paper or digital ticket you show to get on the plane. It literally means you're boarding or getting on.
There are also some differences between British and American airport English. For example, in the US, they often say elevator, but in the UK, it's lift.
Also, Americans say check-in desk, and British speakers say check-in counter. Both mean the same thing.
Before we say goodbye, David, let's talk about what to do if something goes wrong at the airport. Because, let's be honest, it happens to everyone, even experienced travelers.
Definitely. Flight delays, lost luggage, missed connections, these are common, but stressful. The key is to stay calm and use clear English to get help.
For example, if your flight is delayed and you want to know more, you can say, "Excuse me, could you please tell me the new departure time?" Or, "Is there a lounge where I can wait?"
If your luggage is lost, as we said, go to the lost luggage desk and say, "My bag did not arrive. Can you help me?" Or, "I need to report lost luggage."
And if you miss a connecting flight, approach the airline staff and say, "I missed my connecting flight to Madrid. Can you help me rebook?"
Remember to speak slowly, use simple sentences, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Airport staff want to assist you. They're professionals trained for these situations.
Okay, final tips for our listeners who want to practice airport English before their trip.
Tip 1. Practice common phrases out loud before you travel. It might feel strange, but saying phrases aloud helps your mouth get used to the sounds.
Tip 2. Watch videos or listen to announcements in English from airports or airlines. This helps your ear get familiar with the words you'll hear.
Tip 3. Write down key vocabulary on a small card or phone note. Things like boarding pass, gate, carry-on, and customs.
Tip 4. When you're at the airport, don't be afraid to ask questions. For example, "Where is gate 15? Can you help me with this form?"
And tip 5. The most important, smile and stay positive. A friendly attitude goes a long way in making communication easier.
David, do you have a last airport story for us? Something that reminds us to keep calm and keep trying?
Sure. A few years ago, I was at a very busy airport, and my flight was delayed for hours. I was frustrated, but instead of getting upset, I started chatting with other passengers in English, practicing my phrases, sharing travel stories, and even making new friends.
That's a perfect reminder that travel is not just about planes and gates. It's about people and connections.
Exactly. And every time you speak English at the airport, you're building confidence and making your trip better.
Well said, David.
Thanks, Emma. And thank you to all our listeners for joining us on this episode of English Podcast for Life.
Remember, the airport is just the start of your journey. And with English, you're ready to take off.
We'll see you next time. Safe travels and keep speaking confidently.
Bye.